Hello and thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on NTA News24. I am Elizabeth Omori. The headlines. INEC sets for Anambra State governorship polls, distributes sensitive materials.
We will pack the beavers, which have charged and patched it, will pack in the trucks to the 21 local governments.
President Bola Tinubu updates necessary steps taken to curb insecurity.
I assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism and
Senate probes Air Peace runway overrun at Port Harcourt International Airport. Forders scheduled maintenance work to put Maiduguri and environs in total darkness. We begin with electoral matters. Ahead of the governorship polls in Anambra State, INEC has commenced the distribution of sensitive materials to the 21 local government areas of the state. Jane Francis Obi brings details.
The heat for the processes leading to the November 8th gubernatorial election in Anambra State is turning up as the Independent National Electoral Commission is on their 12th processes, which is the distribution of sensitive materials situated at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Anambra State branch. The sensitive materials being distributed, expected to get to the polling units in the 21 local government areas in the state, latest by 7 a.m. on Saturday, the day of the election.
We will pack the beavers, which have charged and patched it, we will pack in the trucks to the 21 local governments. They will come here, we open the results, we open the ballot papers. We've not opened them, we just brought it from CBN. I came with my management team yesterday to see them physically because we were told it came the day before yesterday. We want to be sure that if we come this morning, there will be no stories. And we were sure yesterday and told them.
The Anambra State capital are gradually winding down with just less than 24 hours. Let's now join Benson Osadebe to tell us more about this. Benson, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you. The long-awaited Anambra governorship election in the state is just a few hours away from now, and from traffic situation, the reports, the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, the very busy Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, is now witnessing a high vehicular movement. Meanwhile, the state governor just declared a work-free day in the state to enable voters travel and those who cannot travel to prepare themselves for the busy, important day ahead of the election. A visit by our crew to ATM points witnessed long queues by those who are making transactions to have money for their upkeep. Meanwhile, activities in the popular Ekoka market is at the peak as people are engaging in last-minute shopping. Security situation, as we witnessed, is visible at strategic locations in the state, with surveillance ongoing, as well as area surveillance, as we observed by helicopters, was also noticed. That is the mood in town in Oka, but I will be handing over to my colleague, Chinyere Okoye, to bring us up to speed with latest developments in parks in the states. Chinyere, over to you.
Thank you very much. I am standing right now at one of the popular motor parks at Unizik Junction in Oka, the Anambra State capital. And information I gathered from the park managers and travelers is that as early as 6 a.m. today, travelers already
piling up at the motor parks, making their ways to their various destinations where they'll be casting their ballot tomorrow. And the essence is to avoid being caught in the web of the restriction of movement that will start from 12 midnight today till after the election tomorrow being November 8th. However, the work-free day declared by the Anambra State government to enable people travel and get set for the election is a win-win situation for the electorate in Anambra State, because many of them who say they are very ready are now trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's to avoid being disenfranchised on the process tomorrow. However, it is also observed that the people are highly expectant that the electoral umpire will live up to their expectation to give them free, fair, and credible exercise. The situation is quite calm and peaceful here at the motor parks, and the drivers and park managers are actually making brisk businesses, and that's it from the motor park in Awka, the Anambra State capital.
Thank you so much for that compact details, and thank you to Benson as well. Thank you very much. Still talking politics, state chairmen of the People's Democratic Party have dissociated themselves from the leadership of the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led faction of the party's National Working Committee. Rising from their meeting in Abuja, the chairman expressed unalloyed loyalty to the leadership of the Damagun-led executives. Timothy Yusuf reports. All right, details will come subsequently. Because of our Tomorrow Party board has faulted the recent statement by United States President Donald Trump threatening military action against Nigeria, calling it an attack on Nigeria's sovereignty and an affront to the principles of international law and diplomatic respect. A statement by the national chairman of the party, Sunday Adenuga, says the board party rejects any attempt to address Nigeria's security challenges exclusively in religious terms, as doing so risks inflaming tensions, misdirecting international responses, and harming ordinary Nigerians who suffer most from violence and instability. Adenuga said what Nigerians require from partner nations is constructive support, help to strengthen institutions, secure communities, prosecute criminals, and convert our natural wealth into sustainable development for the Nigerian people. He calls on political leaders, civil society, religious authorities, and all Nigerians to unite, and urges the United States and the international community to respect Nigeria's sovereignty. In other news, President Bola Tinubu has again reassured that his administration is taking necessary steps to ensure that Nigeria defeats terrorism and other forms of insecurity. President Tinubu gave the assurance during the meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
The Federal Executive Council meeting came to order to fill the hitherto ministerial vacancies created in the Council. Following their nomination and screening by the National Assembly, 2 new ministers designate were primed for inauguration. Bernard Doro from Plateau State replaces former Humanitarian Affairs Minister Nentawe Yiwada, who is now the APC National Chairman, and Kingsley Ude, a former commissioner from Enugu State, is taking the slot of Enugu to replace the former Minister of Science and Technology Uche Naji, who resigned recently.
Of my duties as minister, so help me God.
Then, in an unusual circumstance, came the usual assertive voice.
The most important thing.
President Bola Tinubu would for the first time react to the current situation occasioned by the threats of military incursion by the U.S.
Despite the political headwind and the fear of our people, we continue to engage with our partners. The success of the 2.3 billion bond, our subscription, oversubscribed, is the most at this stage. So the task ahead is immense. We are engaging the world diplomatically, and we assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country. The task ahead is immense, but it's our resolve to move forward with unity and purpose, guided by renewed hope agenda to build a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria.
The president also yielded the floor to the coordinating Minister of Finance and Economy, Wale Edun. The coordinating minister gave updates of economic progress, including the growth of GDP by 4.2% in the second quarter of 2025, growth of 13 major sectors by 7%, growth of industrial sector from 3.72% to 7.45%. Foreign exchange reserves topped $43 billion, while trade surplus hit 7.4 trillion naira.
Yesterday's hugely successful 2.35 billion euro bond issuance, in which the order book peaked at over $13 billion, is a testament to continued investor confidence in our country and our reform agenda and Mr. President's leadership.
He assures of sectoral commitment to the $1 trillion economy envisioned by the government as they prepare for the next phase of the reforms.
The next phase of reforms will remove barriers holding back investors. We will review tariffs and import restrictions to stimulate productivity and investment.
The minister believes every naira must be optimized to sustain momentum amid global liquidity constraints, while the government continues to harness local resources to strengthen the economy. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has approved the concessioning of the Port Harcourt International Airport alongside approval for infrastructure projects across the country. Musbah Dan Wahab once again has more on the decisions of the council meeting.
After deliberations at the 9th meeting of the Council for the year, Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris picked up as the chairman for the briefing session.
But there is no any panic mode here. We are responding responsibly, steadily, and in the interest of our country, also, taking into account the concerns both from within and outside this country of what the situation in this.
Minister of Works announced Council's approval for 11 memos of 2 awards of contracts and 9 for review. The 9 existing contracts approved for review and continuation include sections of Old Enugu-Onitsha Road and the East-West Road, while the new contract awarded included Section 3 of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway.
The 2 started from the beginning of the route. This third section started from the end of the route. And that is from Badagry, which is in Lagos State, going to Ogun, and from Ogun to the border between Ogun and Oyo State. And the total kilometer is 162.97 kilometers. And it's awarded for 6 lanes and for use of reinforced concrete pavement for a contract cost of 3.39 billion per kilometer.
Similarly, FCT administration got approval for the ratification of construction of residences of heads of courts in the territory and the renovation of the International Conference Center, now Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. It also secured approval for the contract of provision of water to satellite towns along Karu, Orozo Karishi area, as well as the engineering-proof infrastructure project in Maitama 2.
Most people have allocated that land before this administration, but no provision of infrastructure. So the Federal Council today approved that contract, and by the grace of God, this is one very ambitious project that the FCT is backing up on. We believe, by the grace of God, we are going to give it all it requires to see that district is opened.
The council approved the exclusion of properties of the Federal Airport Authority in and around airports in the country from disposal to private individuals and the concessioning of the Port Harcourt International Airports.
We will concession the airports. They are running at a loss. We cannot continue to waste government money. They will not lose their jobs. That's the message to the union. I repeat it again, no worker will lose his job as a result of the concession.
There are now approvals for the establishment of tourism and cultural economic zones and the adoption of tourism brands across the country, including the emerging Dirty December in Lagos.
For Dirty December, we have asked the President to establish a presidential task force on Dirty December that will allow all the different interdependencies that we need, the different MDAs, aviation, interior, power, that we need to ensure that we provide the international community with the destination for Dirty December.
The Council also sanctioned the modification of the Presidential Council of Tourism Promotion and Investments. From the State House, Musbal Wahab, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News24. Let's take a breather. More reports ahead.
Final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections. Classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year. NTA News24.
Thanks for staying with us. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has charged world leaders to move beyond pledging to performance and from dialogue to taking reasonable actions in tackling climate change and its attendant natural disasters that have claimed innocent lives and rendered many homeless across the globe. He stated this during the Leaders' Climate Summit at the ongoing 30th Conference of the Parties in Brazil. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Bola Tinubu at this annual climate conference, received by the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, reaffirmed Nigeria's global climate leadership with a commitment to achieving an emission reduction targets of 32% by 2035. The unveiling of the National Carbon Market Framework and Climate Change Fund forms the core of Nigeria's climate finance architecture, designed to attract billions of dollars in clean energy and adaptation investment.
Through these efforts, we are powering small businesses, promoting clean energy, and transforming agricultural waste into opportunity. Nigeria's geography, from the Sahelian plains in the north to the mangroves of the Niger Delta, reflect nature's generosity and reminds us of our responsibility to preserve what sustains us. This is why we are investing in climate-smart agriculture, livestock transformation, and sustainable land use practices that reduce conflict over resources and enhance food security.
Brazil's President Lula da Silva said it will take a collective effort for the world to fight climate change, emphasizing that fighting climate change must be a priority for every government and individual on Earth.
At COP28 in Dubai, countries committed to transition away from fossil fuels. No more greenwashing, no loopholes. We must turn that committing into action while supporting low and middle income developing countries that are highly dependent on fossil fuels.
Nigeria's third national determined contribution, validated and submitted in September 2025, outlines the country's comprehensive strategy across energy, agriculture, transport, waste and industry. As the decade of gas strategy remains pivotal empowering the transition, balancing natural gas utilization with expanded solar and off-grid electrification to drive rural energy access and sustainable development. From Belém, in Brazil, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
To aviation matters, the Nigerian Senate has tasked President Bola Tinubu's appointment. Our report will come subsequently. Senate is taking a critical look at aviation safety in Nigeria following the recent Air Peace runway overrun at the Port Harcourt International Airport. The legislative intervention took off with an investigative hearing on the incident as part of efforts to prevent a repeat of such accidents and to strengthen public coincidence in air travel. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
By the Senate Committee.
It was a full house at the National Assembly as the Senate Committee on Aviation held an investigative hearing on the Air Peace runway incident that occurred at the Port Harcourt International Airport on July 13, 2025.
Though the incident thankfully recorded no loss of life, it serves as a sober reminder that aviation safety demands constant vigilance.
The Senate now decide that we should take it up, find out, make a correction, guide the airline, and then where it is necessary, we amend the law to suit the yearning of Nigeria.
Permanent Secretary, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, presented the ministry's position and announced that it has embarked on the review of implementation of safety regulations to ensure safer skies in Nigeria.
This occurrence is still under investigation. Air Peace incident under consideration, the two safety recommendations addressed to the management of Air Peace Airlines were issued. In this case, assessment of implementation of these safety recommendations will be carried out by the State Safety Program Team of the NCAA.
The committee invited the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Civil Aviation Authority, Federal Airport Authority, Management of Air Peace to make submissions on the incident.
Results indicated Captain and First Officer positive for ethyl glucuronide, ETG, a biomarker of recent alcohol ingestion.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority remains fully committed to upholding the highest standards of aviation safety.
The aircraft flew back to Lagos. The aircraft had no damage on it. What happened was human error.
It affects Air Peace, it affects British Airways, it affects all the airlines.
The parliamentary committee states that the hearing was not just about one airline or one incident. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Senate has tasked President Bola Tinubu's appointees to serve with diligence and accountability, emphasizing the importance of value addition in their roles. This comes as the Senate screens and confirms the latest ministerial appointee, Dr. Kingsley Tochukwu Ude SAN. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that Senate wants them to prioritize the nation's interests and deliver quality service.
Tochukwu Ude, the newly confirmed minister, during the screening, emphasized the use of his skills and expertise to improve Nigeria.
Span across various facets of life, and this is what I would leverage to bring value to the renewed hope of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The Senate urged all presidential appointees, including the new minister, to focus on service to the nation.
Dr. Kingsley Tochukwu Ude, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, he appears to be a fit and proper person, highly educated and very cerebral, to work as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, add value to the Federal Cabinet to ensure that Nigeria realize the hope, the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
Meanwhile, Senate has adopted a resolution sequel to a motion from Senator Asukwa Ekpenyong asking NAFDAC and other regulators not to extend the December 2025 deadline for the ban on the sale and packaging of high-strength alcohol in sachet.
Some manufacturers continue to lobby for another extension, thereby undermining regulatory authority, jeopardizing public health, and potentially encourage prolonged proliferation and circulation of these products in harmful sachet packaging formats in our communities.
Excessive youth exposure to cheap
high alcohol content products. Packaged in sachet contributes to addiction, impaired cognitive development, and we add affective and psychomotor development, increased school dropout rates, road accidents, domestic violence, and other vices.
The lawmakers noted that previous appeals from industry players led to a one-year extension from the initial 2024 deadline. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
A forum on the promotion of sustainable renewable energy, green infrastructure with clean ecosystem for job creation and the partnership between Nigeria and the European Union gets underway at the National Assembly. Issa Mohammed has details.
Provides a platform for stakeholders to explore opportunities from European investors and leveraging on transfer of technology in a commitment to transform the Nigerian economy.
We have so many Nigerians, both here and in the diaspora, that are stepping up to the plate, innovations through technology and various business solutions to how we can ensure prosperity for every one of our citizens.
Our mission is simple: help these partnerships that we've built to translate to real impact in Nigeria through partnerships with these government institutions.
To the government agencies, the engagement across various sectors of the economy align with the Renew Hope agenda of the present administration and global best practices.
Through collaboration, innovation, and mutual trust, we can build bridges of opportunity that transcend borders and deliver tangible benefits to our citizens.
Similarly, House Committee on Nigerian and United States Legislative Friendship has engaged some private investors on the financial inclusion program of the federal government to open up ways of accessing global funds, special purpose grants, and creating jobs to Nigerians. From the National Assembly, Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Time to take another break. To stay with us.
Engineered to perfection, every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads. This is NTA News24.
Thanks for staying with us. Maiduguri and the surrounding communities in Borno State are experiencing total power outage due to a scheduled maintenance at the Maiduguri Emergency Power Plant. A statement by the Nigerian Independent System Operator, NISO, indicates that the power outage is from Thursday, 6th of November to Sunday, 9th of November 2025. NISO explains that the maintenance, which is a routine operational requirement, is part of ongoing efforts to ensure the reliability, efficiency, and optimal performance of the green generation facilities supplying electricity to Maiduguri and environs. NISO appeals for patience, understanding, and cooperation of electricity consumers in Maiduguri and other affected areas, assuring that supply will be restored immediately as soon as the maintenance work is completed. Achieving adequate and affordable electricity supply in Nigeria requires absolute compliance to market regulations and orders by both industry players and the customers, which the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission says is driving a new approach in line with the evolving electricity market. The Commission insists on discipline by market participants to boost investors' confidence, as defaulting players will be shown the way out. Joshua Ojito brings us details.
The guiding instruments of the power sector are regulations and orders by the umpire, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, to industry players and customers.
There must be an alignment between policy, technology, and regulation.
The Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005 birthed the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, which has continued to play a key role in midwifing and ensuring compliance to market rules and stabilize the market.
The institution has developed from an infant institution lining the ropes of regulation to a world-class institution that is serving the needs of Nigerians.
From the tariff methodology to ensure balanced pricing of electricity and fairness to consumers to initiatives to close the metering gap, compliance to some regulations and orders by market participants remain a challenge, and the Commission says it will wield the big stick.
We have punished the licensees where they make significant, where they make flaw, ensuring that we have key priority projects, both at the distribution level. It led us to what we created or developed, which was the performance improvement plan.
NAC needs to collaborate with the sub-nationals regulators, guide them so that we can move forward and let us have a consistent regulation.
From enforcing consumer protection to promoting energy diversification, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission says it has played a pivotal role in shaping the future of the power sector in Nigeria. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Chairman Board of Directors, NNPC Limited, Ahmadu Musa Kida, has emphasized the critical balance leaders must strike in ensuring proactive leadership. He was part of the panel on transforming energy through leadership development in Abu Dhabi. Lydia Sampson was there.
Drawing some leadership inspiration from basketball, NNPC Limited Chairman Ahmadu Musa Kida believes teamwork and collaboration on the court perfectly mirror effective corporate leadership, driving success through unity and shared goals.
Treat those your workers who you are leading in a way that you would want to be treated yourself. Respect them in the same way, even if you make them accountable and responsible for their jobs. Walk the talk, again, let them see you as basic, as a human being also. And I think that's the only way really that they are doing the best that they can when you are not there every time behind them to do their jobs in the best way.
He highlighted that true leadership involves treating staff with respect while maintaining accountability to ensure optimal performance. Kida pointed out that respectful engagement fosters a motivated workforce, driving innovation and efficiency in the energy sector. The panelists believe the session underscored how leadership development is pivotal for transforming the energy landscape, aligning with the vision of sustainable growth and global sectoral excellence. From Abu Dhabi, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And back home, Kogi State Executive Council has approved the 2026 draft estimates of more than 820 billion naira for the 2026 fiscal year. This was made known to journalists at the end of the State Executive Council meeting in Lokoja. Ajibola Christopher reports.
The council meeting chaired by Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo is crucial in the state's strategic policy making, planning and governance. At the meeting, council approved the 2026 draft budget estimate of more than 820 billion naira, above the 604 billion naira in the 2025 revised budget, representing an increase of 215 billion naira. The 2026 estimates, according to the State Executive Council, is to boost internally generated revenue, facilitate debt recovery and repayment, provide a conducive business environment for revenue optimization and project completion and continuity.
ESCO approved the total estimated revenue, both with current and capital, of 822.49 billion, as well approved a total estimated expenditure, both with current and capital, of 820 billion 490 million 585,443 naira.
On the issue of insecurity in the state, Governor Dodo discloses that the government is winning the war.
It is strengthening our security architecture to be able to win the war. So he wants to assure the good people of Kogi State that the administration is unrelenting and unwavering in its commitment and determination to stamp out extremism in terms of criminality in the state.
On enforcement of ban on articulated vehicles traveling on major roads in Lokoja during the day, the Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo, speaks.
Just recently, we were briefed. We lost a lecturer, a young woman at the Federal University, Lokoja. We cannot continue to watch why we lose their lives.
The governor also received former commissioners in the state deliberating on ways to move the state forward. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
As the final roll call echoes in Abuja, West Africa's leaders and parliamentarians gather one last time, seeking to turn speech and promises into partnerships and dialogue into defense. Correspondent Ibrahim Danhamidu reports.
Third and closing day of the ECOWAS Parliament session in Abuja, delegates delivered their final communique, understanding how peace in the Sahel demands more than words. They say it must rest on shared will, regional trust, and a unified defense posture to silence the guns.
This conference is not the end, but a beginning. It is a step towards a new era of cooperation and collaboration in West Africa and the Sahel.
During the plenary, the West African Islamic Conference on Security and Governance from 15 member states fast-tracked intelligence sharing and faith-based community interventions. The president of the ECOWAS Commission emphasized that security without society is hollow.
Therefore, this conference, which examines the role of Islamic organizations in countering terrorism and violent extremism, fits squarely within the regional non-kinetic initiatives.
Nigeria stands proud, multi-religious nation founded on tolerance, justice, and mutual respect. Our Constitution guarantees every citizen the freedom of worship, ensuring that no place is marginalized and that diversity remains our strength, not our division.
The main objective of the conference was to develop and implement an action plan on the role of Islamic organizations in countering terrorism and violent extremism in West Africa and the Sahel through non-kinetic strategies.
The Commission declared the work must continue beyond the walls of Abuja.
If we collaborate with youth and students in tertiary institutions, actually, they will play a significant role for we to earn a living.
From the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja, I am Ibrahim Hamidu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, civil society organizations across West Africa are assessing the effectiveness of ECOWAS frameworks designed to promote good governance and protect labor rights in member states. While acknowledging the strength of these regional instruments, the groups are calling for greater commitment for implementation to ensure real impact on citizens' lives. Joseph Otsen reports that this formed the thrust of discussions at a conference on ECOWAS at 50.
This is a convergence of civil society groups and other stakeholders from the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS. They are assessing 50 years of ECOWAS legal and instrumental frameworks in the region.
Platform that has been put in place by Rosa Luxemburg Foundation's bureau in Dakar, we have the opportunity to share our experiences, and I just raised an issue regarding families that are led by women and that have very low wages. So it's a very difficult situation in a country where everything is imported.
Tenure elongation has become a real problem, and in that process we have seen the rise of authoritarianism and lack of respect for the rule of law.
For 2 days, conversation revolved around leadership instability, gender equality, labor market, and security.
This foundational instrument expresses the need for policies and mechanisms to enhance women's economic, social, and cultural conditions and to remove constraints on their contribution to regional development and promote equality.
In our society, a lot of people do not know that domestic workers are workers, and like any group of workers have rights. They are not slaves.
We would really expect ECOWAS to begin cracking the whip on abuse of vulnerable groups, and also ensuring that government do not just commit and pledge, but government actually commit resources, funding, towards improving the lot of vulnerable groups.
Aside policies, the consensus here is for stakeholders to ensure that ECOWAS instruments translate into reality and transform lives of citizens positively as a means to peaceful and stable region. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
A conference of the Pan-African Psychology Union has opened in Abuja with conversations geared towards aligning policies, curricula and professional standards in psychology across Africa. Dennis Temple reports.
Nigerian Air Force International Conference Center in Abuja. About 300 delegates from over 16 African countries and the diaspora gathered for the maiden conference of the Pan-African Psychology Union to deliberate on critical issues affecting psychology education and practice on the continent. The week-long meeting with the theme Psychology Education in Nigeria, Challenges for Cohesion and Development seeks to harmonize policies, curricula and professional standards across Africa. For the President of the Union and Professor Andrew Zamani, there is an urgent need to bridge the knowledge and skills gap within psychology education and leadership in African universities. A move, he says, will enhance the relevance of the discipline in addressing Africa's unique challenges.
Now, in order for these benchmarks to be legal, we will coordinate with our regulatory bodies, the university regulatory bodies, to ensure that they are mainstreamed in the educational system to enable us now make a case for the portability of the psychology profession across Africa.
So whether government recognizes psychology or not, the African Psychology Register has been announced, and it will become fully open and accessible to all psychologists, students of psychology, professors, and so on from early next year.
So it is important that we focus on developing that which works for us, which works for our context, which works for our customs.
Delegates agree that the discipline of psychology must be retooled.
We need to unify our curriculum. I think we need to unify our syllabus in teaching.
We are retooling them to become more successful as psychology, to be able to respond to the needs of Africa.
Continual education is the key. And one thing that has also been affecting us is the level of awareness.
So every one of us, we need mental health assistance. Many people are passing through traumas.
One of the highlights of the conference was a presentation on mental health issue, which emphasized the need for culturally sensitive intervention rooted in African values and community-based healing system. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
Nigeria, once considered a high-risk nation for wild poliovirus, has maintained its polio-free status since 2020. However, Rotary International and partners say vigilance is key, particularly in strengthening routine immunization, surveillance, and community education. Alika Opanachi Arua reports.
Of hope and commitment as Rotary International and partners visit Amak Primary Healthcare Center, Lugbe, Abuja. The visit, which underscores Rotary's continued partnership with government and health agencies, is aimed at ensuring no child is left behind in the fight against preventable diseases, reaffirming the organization's global mission to eradicate polio and improve health outcomes for mothers and children. Rotary International Trustee Chairman says focusing on strategies to sustain the gains made in polio immunization is paramount.
Even if we kicked polio out of Africa 5 years ago,
So we have to make sure that newborn children are being vaccinated. As long as we see a single case in the world, our children are not safe. So all of us has to make sure that no child ever will be crippled again.
Beyond immunization, the visit also spotlighted Rotary's maternal and infant health initiatives, including support for prenatal care, safe childbirth, and nutrition programs that are saving lives in rural and urban communities alike.
We have reduced maternal and child mortality with over 28%. And this is our third year in the project. It's actually our desire that by the time we are done, no mother or no child will perish.
Stakeholders believe with continued collaboration, Nigeria's progress in public health will remain a model for Africa. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Arua, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News24, reaching you live from Abuja. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. Anambra State governorship polls distribute sensitive materials.
We will pack the figures which we have charged and packed it, we will pack in the trucks to the 21 local governments.
President Bola Tinubu admits necessary steps taken will curb insecurity.
All of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country.
Senate probes Air Peace runway overrun at Port Harcourt International Airport. In 4 days, scheduled maintenance work to put Maiduguri and environs in total darkness.
This is NTA News24.
This is the news at 10. Earlier, we brought you a report that state chairmen of the People's Democratic Party have dissociated themselves from the leadership of the Abdurrahman Mohammed-led faction of the party's National Working Committee. Timothy Yusuf's report is now ready.
We reconcile all
29 out of the 36 states and FCT state chairmen of the PDP were in Abuja in solidarity with the Damagum-led NWC, asking delegates to the party convention in Ibadan to begin preparation for the event. The forum chairman and chairman of the party in Edo State, Tony Azegbemi, reaffirmed unwavering commitment to the unity, progress and electoral success of the PDP across all levels.
The PDP has only one national chairman, and that person is His Excellency Ambassador Umar Damagum.
This country belongs to all of us, and we are law-abiding citizens. We continue to pursue our dreams in a lawful manner, but we will not be intimidated by anyone.
The forum of state chairmen of the PDP later met with Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State behind closed door, also reaffirming support to the PDP Governors Forum and BOT's support for the party to hold its elective national convention fixed for November 15 and 16, 2025. The state chairman, however, maintained that the party's Damagum-led NWC is open to reconciliation. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Away from political matters, President Bola Tinubu felicitates with Dr. Reuben Abati, renowned journalist and former presidential advisor, on his 60th birthday, November 7, 2025. A statement by the president states that Dr. Abati, who is a public intellectual, author, columnist, law graduate, and broadcaster, has distinguished himself wherever he has traversed, in the university as a student and later as a graduate assistant, as chairman of the editorial board of The Guardian, as a writer, and presently as a television anchor. His insightful articles, regular interventions and television analysis have continued to enlighten and inspire. President Tinubu commends Dr. Abati for his service to Nigeria as Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to former President Goodluck Jonathan, as well as his outstanding contributions to the media. In appreciation of President Bola Tinubu's recognition of Plateau State, it was a moment of pride and celebration in Abuja as family, friends and dignitaries gathered to honor the swearing-in of Dr. Bernard Doro as the new Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Poverty Reduction. The occasion marked a new chapter of service and renewed hope for Plateau State and for Nigerians. Suleiman Abdulhab reports.
Featured cultural displays, traditional music, dancing and exchange of pleasantries, reflecting the joy that greeted Dr. Bernard Doro's appointment as a Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation.
I'm here to serve humanity, and everything I'll do will be directed at serving humanity. And I pray that God, in His infinite mercy, will help me and help us together, that we can make a difference and that we can be the difference.
But don't forget, you are a federal minister and you are responsible for the whole of Nigeria. And you will be guided by justice, by fairness, by equity, and above all, you must demonstrate your loyalty to Mr. President.
Members of the Plateau State delegation echoed this emotion, describing him as a man dedicated to service and transformation.
Will actually serve the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. We know the capacity of Dr. Bernard Doro. He has all the intellectual capacity, the exposure that is needed for him to drive home the ministry. And we have no doubt that he is going to deliver faithfully. And you know Plateau people are loyal people.
I call on the people of Plateau State to be united and speak with one voice to support both the minister, the governor and the president.
In fact, he is somebody that the president has actually put rightly in the right place. And Mr. President knows the right thing to do to Nigerians.
Dr. Doro, with over 2 decades of experience in pharmacy, law and strategic leadership, has been widely recognized for his contributions to humanitarian work and youth development. In Abuja, Suleiman Tabu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
Talking road safety, all hands must be on deck to keep roads safe. This is the message of the Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps Shehu Mohammed, during the flag-off of Ember Safety Month's Town Hall meeting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Ifoma Umesa reports.
Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal says the dragnet must be widened to involve all stakeholders and warned commercial drivers to stay in step with the safety message during these Ember months. The campaign aims to help reduce road crashes to the minimum. The Corps Marshal urges road users to adopt attitudes and behaviors that promote safety and preserve lives.
The whole thing we are doing is preaching about, being alive, being safe, and then to save lives. Because it's a collective responsibility, it's a shared responsibility that everyone must have a deck, must have a say, to partake and make sure that we reduce the crash.
Assistant Corps Marshal Harry Banamesia and representatives of the state government applaud the campaign as a good reminder to all road users to be disciplined.
It's not just the duty of law enforcement officers or traffic regulators. It is a collective responsibility that begins with you and me.
Our roads, fatalities, injuries, loss of properties, and other challenges. These are mainly attributable to human negligence, error, and action, sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntary.
Goodwill messages were received from stakeholders emphasizing the need for road users to take responsibility while on the road. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Umesa, NTA News.
Nigerians are being called upon to unite and promote national coexistence, with leaders emphasizing the importance of putting the country above personal interest. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Pilgrim Christian Commission, Bishop Stephen Adebite, made this known in Abuja, where he highlighted the connection between peaceful coexistence and rapid development using the tool of tolerance and communal living.
We have every religion in Nigeria. We must resolve our matter. We must know we are brothers, we are sisters, we are neighbors. We must be happy with one another and each other. And when we do that, then we think of progress, when there is peace.
And the main reason for that is for us to mobilize Christians and tell Christians that the time and period of apathy towards partisan politics is over. After the power of God, the next power is the political power.
And that report concludes the news at 10. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. See you at 11.